The WNBA All-Star Game just detonated with one of the most surprising game-shaking events in league history. And it all started when Caitlin Clark casually delivered a bombshell during the All-Star draft like she was buying her daily coffee. Without skipping a beat, she switched her coach. Something so unusual it didn't even seem genuine at first. But sure, Caitlin Clark decided she was done playing by the book and in one smooth move changed out Cheryl Reeve for Sandy Brondello. Whether or not it was within the regulations didn't matter. The rules were being changed live on national TV, and Caitlin was wielding the pen. Her exact words, a happy, "Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rules. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule." It was pure, unfiltered main character energy. And this wasn't some ridiculous one-off moment. This was a prepared strategic full-send power play that sent ripple effects through the whole basketball world and beyond. It was a moment that crossed the borders between sport and spectacle, turning what could have been a routine all-star selection event into a cultural flashpoint that people will be talking about for years. Enter Sabrina Ionescu, who quickly became the internet's favorite co-star in this plot twist when she reacted to the news with a mischievous grin and the now legendary statement, "You can't escape me." That single statement spoke so much more than it seemed. It hinted at the close relationship she had with Coach Brondello from their time with the New York Liberty. It showed how these women, comrades, opponents, and friends, are developing something more substantial than just data on a page. Caitlin's choice to sell Cheryl Reeve wasn't just about changing clipboard holders. It was a statement, a reaction, a flex. The subtext was strong and plain. You left me off the Olympic team. Now you don't get to coach me at the All-Star game either. Petty maybe. Legendary. Absolutely. Caitlin's relationship with Reeve had already been the focus of conjecture following her Olympic rejection, and Reeves's less than enthusiastic public comments about the media circus around Clark just threw fuel on that fire. So, when Clark pulled the trigger on the coach swap, she wasn't merely shifting pieces on a chessboard. She was flipping the entire board. Sandy Brondello, on the other hand, rolled with the switch like the seasoned veteran she is. Her reply was pleased, cool, and almost joyous. Her son even emailed her, joking that she'd made history as the first coach ever to be traded in an all-star tournament. It was the type of genuine, unscripted sports drama that even Hollywood couldn't have conjured up better. And of course, Brondello wasn't simply being handed a random roster. She was now coaching her own star player, Sabrina, in a high-profile showcase with big eyes on it. Talk about immediate chemistry. The repercussions of this move were significant. Suddenly, Sabrina had her normal coach in a new setting with some of the league's most elite talent, and you could nearly see the gears turning as she understood the advantage. She grasped Brondello's system, knew her play calls, and trusted her plan. That's not simply convenience. That's a competitive edge. Caitlin knew precisely what she was doing. From a basketball IQ viewpoint, it was a genius-level move that disguised itself as mayhem. It also signaled a transition in the league. A move towards a new era of player empowerment when athletes aren't simply taking command on the court, but also impacting the structure of the game itself. What used to be a passive, coach-driven culture is now a collaborative, player-empowered movement, and Caitlin Clark just became its face. She didn't wait for league clearance. She didn't grovel for permission. She behaved courageously and unashamedly, and with the sort of confidence that makes a league sit up and take note. Meanwhile, the reactions came in. Fans on social media lost their heads. Some complimented Caitlin for the bold choice, while others deemed it insulting to a coaching icon like Reeve. But whether you regarded it as brilliance or ego, one thing was certain. The WNBA had just gone viral for something that wasn't manufactured drama, was real, raw, and anchored in true basketball history. Sabrina's remark gave just the proper amount of levity. Her ability to roll with the moment, to embrace the absurdity, the surprise, and the hilarity is exactly what made this tale stay. It's why the "you can't escape me" sentence hit so hard. It wasn't simply a meme. It was the natural manifestation of a league where relationships, rivalries, and real-life conflict all existed. What made the whole affair even more startling was how everyone involved handled it with elegance. Sandy Brondello didn't flinch. Cheryl Reeve took the hit in stride. Caitlin Clark grinned through it all. Sabrina enjoyed the pandemonium. in a world where sports stories are often manufactured or sanitized, was a lesson in genuineness. And that honesty is what's thrusting the WNBA into a new cultural limelight. This moment suggested something greater than basketball. It was about autonomy, about athletes fighting back against old standards, about altering what all-star games may look like when players are given actual agency. It also poses major issues for the future. Will coach trades become a thing? Will players want greater say in who leads their teams, even in exhibitions? What happens when a player like Caitlin Clark demonstrates she can rewrite the rules on live TV and the fans embrace it? From a league viewpoint, this was absolute gold. What should have been another boring draft section transformed into a viral moment that attracted more attention to the WNBA than months of traditional marketing initiatives. And the greatest part is it wasn't staged. It was spontaneous, raw and real. The type of moment that makes new fans out of casual viewers. That's not simply good TV. That's legacy building. Even the media didn't know how to digest it at first. Reporters hurried to check if the deal was legal. Analysts sought to discern if it was a prank or a statement. Meanwhile, the people had already determined it was iconic. Caitlin Clark was no longer merely a rising celebrity. She was a disruptor, a leader, and a playmaker in every sense of the term. Sabrina's place in all this can't be underlined. She performed the right supporting role, adding comedy, elegance, and perspective to a situation that might have easily degenerated into controversy. Her calm attitude and profound relationship with Brondello kept the plot grounded. She reminded everyone that while basketball is important, it's also intended to be enjoyable. That reminder matters, especially as the WNBA continues to develop and change. Looking back at previous sports leagues, this sort of spontaneous power move puts Caitlin Clark in the company of athletes who changed the game simply by refusing to accept the established quo. From LeBron James changing team rosters to Serena Williams defying gender norms, Clark's deal joins the hall of spontaneous but seismic actions that affected perception and policy in real time. And what's remarkable is how rapidly it all unfolded. One moment she was drafting players, the next she was flipping the script. That speed, that confidence, that no apology swagger, that's what made it historic. The fact that Sandy Brondello was coaching against her typical club while guiding a lineup she didn't intend for provided still another complication. You couldn't script better tension. And yet there she was, unaffected, attentive, still smiling. That's the mark of a real pro. Someone who doesn't require things to go according to plan to succeed. Caitlin's bravery, Sabrina's flexibility, and Sandy's professionalism. Those three forces came together in a moment that may have reshaped the All-Star format forever. As Hollywood buzzed and others started to evaluate this move, one thing became abundantly evident. Caitlin Clark didn't simply move a coach, she moved the culture. She conveyed a message that players are observing, learning, and moving into authority faster than anyone imagined. And if the WNBA is wise, it'll lean into that momentum. The next generation of fans isn't only watching for the scores. They're here for the tales, the personalities, and the power plays. This was all of the things in one amazing package. So, what does this imply for the future of player empowerment in the WNBA? It indicates everything is possible. Trades at exhibition games. Why not? Players calling the shots. Absolutely. Coaches becoming part of the chess play instead of merely moving the pieces. That's where the league is heading. And in the center of it all sits Caitlin Clark. Not simply a phenomenon in court, but a revolution in action. Sabrina's giggle, Sandy's elegance, Caitlin's daring. That's the type of enthusiasm that doesn't simply produce headlines. It creates